What's Crack-a-lackin Doods and Doodettes? It's Ness, and you're watching NES Collectibles, and we're doing a deep dive on the One Piece card game today. I want to talk about everything that's come out. I am super excited for this game. It's coming at the end of this year to a number of different countries, obviously coming out to Japan first here in July. I've got some different dates, and they've been previewing cards. I want to show all of the cards that have been previewed so far, and it is super duper exciting. I'm so thrilled to be getting into this. So if you haven't, do the thing, and let's get right into this. We've got the base info, which is July. We have the initial release, which is going to be, I believe, July 8th, 2022. And so that's the date that we're getting the 4 starter decks. They originally said that I believe July 22nd was the release of the first set, but I have seen some listings say the 8th, so fingers crossed that we get them that early. For the actual set Romance Dawn, which is OP01, that is going to consist of 121 cards. It has 45 commons, 30 uncommons, 26 rares is what has been told, 10 super rares, and 2 secret rares, and then there's 8 leader cards. The 4 starter decks that are coming are going to be the Straw Hat Crew, the Animal Kingdom Pirates, the Worst Generation, and the 7 Warlords. So those should be super neat. I believe the leaders for those are going to be who is on the cover of those sets, and I believe the color of the cards is dictated also by the cover of those starter decks. So Luffy's red, Kaido is purple, Croc is blue, and Eustace Kid is green. So that is awesome there. There's a 5th starter deck coming out on August 6th. To coincide with One Piece Film Red, and I believe that's why they haven't shown off much of the art or any of the details of that, is because they don't want to spoil anything for the movie. It does say it's for the films. I originally think that was going to be tied to the movies previous, so things like Strong World and Film Z and Stampede. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think this is specifically for Film Red, and hopefully we'll get some of those other tie-ins with other sets later on. We've got a super pre-release event that has been announced in the US and I think possibly in other locations for September 30th of this year. These decks will have special versions of the leaders with alternate arts and gold stamps on them, which is super duper neat. Obviously, keep an eye out at your local game stores, talk to them, see if they're going to run this. I know that if the local game store doesn't opt in by the 31st of this month, they're not going to do it. So those will be fun chase pieces that I think people can get really excited for. And we don't know what those arts are going to be, or they haven't really been previewed yet. That's everything for like the base knowledge. Let's jump into the rules. We have deck building that is going to be specific to the color of your leader. So right now, all of the leaders that they've shown are single color. So the whole deck has to be that color. You have 50 cards for your regular deck, not including the leader. And then you have a 10 card sideboard deck, which is your Dawn deck. And that's 10 cards. So that is... You basically have 61 total cards to make up a proper ability to play. So far we know who the leaders are for these 4 decks, but we don't know if these starter decks are included in OP01 Romance Dawn or not. So when they say that there's 8 leader cards, these could be all new, 8 new leader cards, which... I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping that that's the case and that that's not crossover, and that the starter decks are not having their card counts included in the first set. So hopefully they're separate, because more cards is better. Next, we have gameplay. The way the game works is after you've built your deck, you're set up, you will rock, paper, scissors for who goes first. Then then both people draw 5 cards. You can mulligan once and draw another 5 cards. There's no additional mulligans after that. There's no dropping card count or anything from the rules that they've given us thus far. Turn 1, no attacks for you or your opponent. And the first player gets 1 Dawn card instead of 2. So each turn you're going to get, other than the first turn, for the first person, you're going to get 2 Dawn cards coming out. And you can use those Dawn cards. You can rest them, which is like tapping them, or you can attach them to characters or your leader. There is different costs associated with that, and that obviously, if you're attached to the character, then they add their benefits. So we also have the play area. You can kind of see how the play area is set up. For some reason, they've got their leader card set right in the middle, and I think part of that is because of the fact that they want you to have your characters up front so that you have a battlefield kind of situation, because your characters are probably going to always be protecting your leader card. And then you've got your stage card next to it, which is giving you additional bonuses. And then you've got your deck and your discard. And then you've got your cost area, which is going to be your resources. And then your Dawn deck. And then your life up in the top left. So it's got very similar setups, not only to Digimon, but also to Magic and also to Pokemon. Pokemon's a little bit different than this, just because of how things have to be oriented. But I think this makes sense to me. You've got your first line of defense, then you've got your leaders, and then you've got, your resources. So I really do like the way that this sequences, because I think it makes it easy for you as the player to understand what's going on. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the game flow. So first off, we're going to have a refresh phase. This is going to be your untapping phase, if you're a Magic fan. So you're going to return all of the attached Dawn cards to the cost area. So everything that is attached to your leader or to another character goes back to the cost area. That's awesome because you still have the functionality of it to be able to spend it. You're going to switch all of your rested cards to active. So you're going to untap everything. So it's going to go, unattach, back to cost area, and then everything becomes active. So untap. Then you're going to have your draw phase. You're going to draw 1 card from your deck. Then you're going to have your Dawn phase. You're going to add 2 cards from your Dawn deck to the cost area. And this obviously doesn't happen with the first turn, first player. Then we go into main phase. Perform as many of the following actions as you like in any order. So you can play cards from your hand, which they have costs in the top left. So you have to rest Dawn cards in your cost area equal to the card's play cost. And event cards are placed in the trash when they're played. Then you can attach Dawn cards. So you activate Dawn cards in your cost area. Active Dawn cards, so ones that are not rested in your cost area, can be attached to your leader or characters. So that's how you're going to benefit them, give them that extra 1,000 power during your turn type of thing. And if your character dies while a Dawn card is attached, it's just going to go right back to your cost area. I don't believe it actually rests it. You can use card effects, so leaders and character effects can be activated when their conditions are met. So Dawn ×1 can be used when 1 Dawn is attached. Dawn -1 can be used by returning 1 Dawn from the field to your Dawn deck. And then activation 1 can be used by resting 1 active Dawn in your cost area. Okay, so you've got the ability to attach, you've got the ability to remove it from the field back to your deck, and then you've got the ability to rest it. And then finally, you can attack, rest an active leader or character on the field to declare an attack. Characters may not attack on the turn that they are played, so everything's got summoning sickness. and neither player may attack on their first turn. So, assuming since you always start the game with your leader out, that's kind of like if your leader has summoning sickness. And then finally, there's the end phase, and it says effects come to an end. Looking at the battle procedure, we've got the attack step. You're going to rest an active leader or character on the field to declare an attack, resolve all when attacking or similar effects. And then 2 is the block step. Your opponent can now choose to activate the blocker effect on any of their cards. So that is something that is very similar to Digimon. You have to have blocker to be able to do that stuff. Let's see, counter step. Okay, and you can attack either the leader or you can attack a rested character. So if they attacked you last turn, that makes them vulnerable this next turn. Then you have a counter step. Your opponent may play as many cards with counter as they would like from their hand. Okay, so there's a counter step after the block step. And then we get the damage step. When you attack, you definitely rest your cards, so you're going to tap them when they're attacking. And then obviously you can't block with tapped/rested cards. When you attack, if you have power meeting or exceeding the defending player's character, if it's a character card, they will get KO'd and put in the discard pile/trash. If they are a leader card, they will take 1 point of damage. If the attacker does not have power exceeding the defenders, then nothing happens. When a leader takes damage, add the top card of your life to your hand. So this is kind of an interesting play because of the fact that when you are taking damage, instead of losing those cards, they go into your hand. And then if they have an activated trigger effect, then that takes place. And then of course, if your leader takes damage and you have no life cards remaining, you lose the game. There's 2 different ways to win. The first is to hit your opponent's leader when they have no life left. And then the other way is to deck them. So that's pretty cool. So overall, I think this is a pretty simple game from the base rules. So I'm anxious to see how the different decks work because you're going to have a lot of different stuff going on. I think the red cards are probably going to be the most straightforward, aggressive type, similar to Digimon. This is all very, very similar to Digimon. The one thing that's different is I know that there's no memory, so there's no like crossover time frame for getting things out early. So I think you are going to be limited specifically to your Dawn deck and your Dawn cards and what you can play. So that's going to be really interesting. Because basically, if you're getting 2 Dawn every turn, you will have full access to all of your Dawn cards in the cost area within 5 to 6 turns, depending on if you went first. So that's interesting. As well as using different activations will put them back into your Dawn deck. So we'll see how that all plays out. Until we actually have decks and full deck lists, I think we're going to be a little iffy on a lot of this. So far they have shown 3 different Luffy cards. We've got the initial one, and they even showed it off in foil, which is pretty astounding. I think these are gorgeous. I'm really excited. I did order some of these from Japan, so hopefully we'll get to do an opening here on the channel sometime close to when they release. And then so they've got that Luffy card, which is the main one that they've shown off. But then we've got this other Luffy card, which this one seems to be tied to the supernovas, if I were to guess. But he is also red, and it does say that he is an ultra rare. So this might just be an additional version of Luffy that, either is a character card and not a leader card. So that's also possible. I could imagine you having multiple Luffys in the deck. So you have your leader Luffy, who is your standard how your deck runs, kind of like a commander in Magic, and then you're going to have the other character cards that can come out and then do a bunch of damage if you manage to play them. And then there's also the illustration that was released in Shonen Jump. That one is super cool, but all we got was the art. So maybe that's the alternate art that they're using for the super pre-release. Either way, it's super neat. And so far, they haven't even shown off all of the crew. They did show off one Zoro card, which was like full art, which makes me wonder if that's going to be a specialty card or an ultra rare or something like that. They showed off Sanji. Sanji's super duper cool. We've got General Frankie. We've got Jinbei. We've got Chopper. We've got Brook. We've got Nami. We still haven't seen Robin yet. We haven't seen Usopp yet. Where's Usopp? Are we getting Sogeking? Or are we getting Usopp? So that's kind of cool. One thing to note that when we saw Sanji, one of the cool things is they put him in his like cool capey outfit. So I don't want to go into spoiler realms with y'all. I don't know how far everybody is in the series, but there's a lot of cool alternate costumes and powers and things like that I am so excited for. I'm hoping we get them. Obviously, we're in the time skip already, which is something super cool that I think they did with this particular card game, is that they're jumping right in where Japan and the manga in the US are at. So the Japanese anime specifically, not the manga, and then the anime or in the manga here in the US. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We've got all of these other amazing moments that are happening right here in the card game. They've already spoiled some of the samurai characters with Kawamatsu. So the Akazaya 9, I believe, if I'm not misenunciating that, we're going to get them. We've got multiple of the Worst Generation already shown. So we've got Law, we've got Kid, and we've got Luffy and Zoro. We know that we're going to get, we have to get Killer, just because he's part of Kid's crew. If he's going to run the deck, he'll be in there. We've got so many other characters that could be part of that deck and should be. I'm really excited to see where they go with that. We've got a huge number of really cool characters for Kaido's crew. So far, they've shown Kaido, and then they've shown Ulti. So we know that we're going to get the rest of the Tobiropo. We're going to get I'm sure we're going to get the lead singers. So we're going to get King, Queen, Jack. We have to. They've already accidentally previewed Yamato, which is super duper cool. And I found that one hidden behind a pre-order for the Romance Dawn box on one of the websites that I found. So we've also been shown Boa and Sabo and Crocodile and Don Krieg. We've been shown Moria. We've been shown I think that's pretty much everyone at the moment. And then, of course, we've obviously gotten Dawn cards. We've gotten the front and backs of the cards. We've been given a stage card. We've been given a couple of events. And, the Pacifistas. They've also shown the Pacifistas. So that's all. That's everything, I think, that's been previewed as of today, me recording this. So, super duper neat. Love the art on this game. They are killing it with the art, and it just keeps getting me more and more excited to see more of the characters, to see more of what's going on. One thing that has to be brought up: all of the cards that are being previewed They say sample all over them, so they are all red. Most of these cards are not going to be red, guys. They can't be. The game would be completely unbalanced. We also don't have life. We don't have power. We don't have abilities. These are all just base sample. Like, here's the card, here's the art, in a basic frame, and they're gonna go through and they obviously had to balance it. I think it goes without saying that Boa's gonna be in the Warlords deck. Crocodile's gonna be in the Warlords deck, so they're probably gonna be blue. If Moria's gonna probably be blue. I'm sure we'll have different characters that cross over. Like, obviously, we probably need a green Zoro and a green Luffy to match into the Worst Generation stuff, and they'll have different abilities. So I'm expecting that we're gonna see a lot of these change color. The Pacifistas, I don't know what color they should be because we don't know where the Marines are going to fit in this yet. We haven't gotten a Marine preview other than the Pacifistas, so that's pretty crazy. That one really stands out above everything else. We also don't know where the Samurai are going to fit. We don't know. There's so much about this game that we don't know. So speaking of the 7 Warlords, we don't know, is this going to be the current Warlords, or are we also going to include historic Warlords? And I think we're going to start getting some more historic stuff because of the fact that they previewed Dawn Krieg. If we're getting Dawn Krieg, we're going all the way back to East Blue, which means the whole show, the whole manga, the whole everything is fair game, which is awesome. So don't be surprised if we start getting different decks and things like that that are themed like previous generations or previous parts of the story, things like that. I think that's really, really neat. We're continuing to look at the deep dive of this. What do we expect? I expect new crews, so maybe different colors, because Digimon has a lot of different colors other than the 4 that have been previewed here. So Digimon has a lot of different colors in it, especially ones that aren't previewed here. So we've got different crews that have not been touched yet, other than the fact that they've been a little bit shown off. Like we've got the Samurai group, we've got Whitebeard Pirates, we've got the Marines, we've got Big Mom Pirates, we've got Red Hair's Shanks Pirate Crew, we've got the Revolutionary Army, and we've got Blackbeard's Pirate Crew. Those are the biggest ones I can think of that still need to be added to this game. I don't see any way that they get around doing those. So maybe some of those will be the next sets. I also think there's a high likelihood of them adding Gold Roger's crew. That would be super cool. Let's see here. If they do the Samurai as their own group, the leader could be Odin, which would be awesome. Like, imagine just that time frame that they could do from the story. That would be super duper neat. Then we've got, without getting too spoiler heavy, I would be very excited about that. Pre-orders for the Japanese release. I went to Zenpan. I think it was a little more expensive for the starter decks. I think I paid about $14 per each starter deck, and I think $50 for the boxes. So they're not the greatest price, but I was able to get everything all at one stop. So I only had to pay for shipping once, and shipping from all of these places seems to be about $30, which, just spreading them out, I would have paid more in shipping. I think Okini was another one. That's where I found the Yamato card, accidentally previewed on the pictures. So that's one place that you can get it. Pricing, expectation, you got to remember these cards in Japan, if you're buying the Japanese stuff, they've only got a few cards in the packs. You're not getting 15 cards like you do in America. I think you're only getting 6. So in Japan, with Pokemon, they don't even guarantee rares. So I'm wondering if there's going to be guaranteed rares or not when I open these. I guess we'll find out. But it's only 6 cards. I think so far my favorite card that they previewed, just because I was so excited to see the character, was Ulti. I mean, I know that we were probably going to get them, but she's just such a fun character. Like, I love her interactions in the anime so far, and she's a fun character. I hope that we get one of her in her Zoan form. If you enjoyed the One Piece card game deep dive, be sure to follow the channel for more details. I will continue to make more videos as things get released. And don't forget, sail on.
NES.